welcome back to the Phoenix Forge for another edition of its Blacksmiths Essential Skills. Now, what we haven't done so far is twisting, so we thought we'd go through the basics of that today. And I've got a piece of square bar, a bit of flat bar, and a bit of round bar, and I'll do a different twist on each one. Now, what I've done for this exercise is I've cut myself 700mm of 12 square. I've marked up a section in the centre, 200mm long, and I'm just going to do a plain twist on there. Now, twisting in smithing is all about controlling the heat and obviously controlling the distortion. So let's get it warmed up and get started. Alright, I've got a nice even colour on my bar. What I'm going to do is quench this end off near the centre punch. I don't want to twist it any more than I need to. And then I'm going to stick it in my leg vise. Where's my other centre punch mark? There it is. Now I'm going to do it vertically on this one. I've got two adjustable spanners, so I can set them up just above my centre punch mark, and I can start twisting. Now it's always a good idea to count your twists, especially if you're going to do a water twist or something else. I'm just going to do plain ones for today. And you can see this nice small bar twists nice and easily, but it's going to twist more and tighter where the bar is hottest. So if I take that off there, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but this section here is twisted more than the ends have. But what we can do is just take a little bit of water. I can give that a little bit of a quench. If I want to, I can then come in, give it another half a turn, or quarter turn rather, and that's tightened all of that section up as well, and it's going to be a much more even, much more balanced twist. Now, inevitably, I'm not a machine, so my twisted bar ends up picking up a bit of a helix. And that's something we really need to control as we go. I'm pretty pleased with how that's turned out. But I'm going to straighten it slightly. Now, if I hit this with a steel-faced hammer, I'm going to end up taking big chunks out of the corners of the twist, and that will really mar it up and make it look unpleasant and doesn't look very professional or very nice. So what I'm going to use instead is, of course, a hide mallet. It's a bit softer, and I'm going to do that on a wooden block as well. I've got a chunk of oak that I tend to use for doing this. So I'm going to warm it back up in the fire, and we'll straighten it out. Okay, so I've warmed this up to a dull orange. I don't want it super hot because I don't want to put more bends in than I'm taking out. Now I need to look down the length of the bar, spot those high points, and very gently give it a tap. Now I strongly suggest doing this on a piece of oak or another similar hardwood. That's going to give you a bit of resistance. You start doing this on a pine board and it will work, but your pine board won't last 5 minutes. Also, I don't want to hit it so hard that I'm marring the surface. Right, I can live with that. Pretty happy with that twist. Let's cool it down. And there we go. That's a simple, plain, square twist. Now, there are hundreds of different types of twist. And over the next few weeks, I will show you how to do some of the other ones, the more exciting ones. But if you can get the basics in first, get those coming out consistent and even, then you've made a good start. So before you start rushing into doing cube twists and crazy pineapples, get that squared away first and then move on from there. So we can, of course, do plain twists in different sections. So up next is the flat bar. This is a bit of 20 by 10, I think. And I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to take a nice even bright orange heat between the two centre punches, which is roughly 200mm or 8 inches, and we're going to stick that in the vise again, quench either side, or quench the one side I'm going to hold on to, and we'll give that a twist. Quench it off all the way to my centre punch mark. I don't want a bar twisting beyond that. That's my vise. I don't need to quench the piece that's in my vise because my vise is holding on to it. It ain't going anywhere. See what I didn't do is adjust the spanners. Right, spanners down to the mark, and off we go. Now you can see this is cooling down most down towards the vise, and so it's going to twist a bit less at the vise. And curiously, the bottom in the middle hasn't twisted as much. So I need to take another heat, or I need to control the heat on this one. So what I'm actually going to do next is turn it 90 degrees in the vise. It's a bit more difficult to control a helix on a bar, when the bar is at 90 degrees. And when you twist the flat bar, you'll really find out about that helix. The advantage of obviously turning 90 degrees is I can cool down the portions that have twisted more. And we don't worry about getting the workshop floor wet. Spanners back on there. So there's pros and cons to both methods. You're more prone to helix if you try and do it at 90 degrees as it is now, parallel with the jaws. Whereas if you're doing it vertically, it's much more easy to get an even twist without causing the bar to helix. Now you can of course make some weird and wacky jigs. I've got a great big twisting jig that I made a few years ago for doing some gates for a manor house that allow me to get an even twist on sort of a 2 meter length of bar. You can of course do it in the lathe. And they do even sell twisting machines, which is a mechanical machine, a bit like a lathe, but they're really geared to drive quite slowly, and they'll give you a nice even twist. Now this twist isn't 100%. I've got a slightly loose patch just there, but I'm not going to panic. This is only to show you roughly what you need to do. How are we for helix? Now I've got a bit of a bend in there. I don't know if you can see down this bar. There is a bit of a twist in there. So I'm going to warm it up and we'll straighten it on the wooden block as well. So, nice and warm again. Take it easy, one tap and then have a look and see what the bar's doing. Don't burn your face with your tongs. That would be bad. Then you end up with good looks like me. Now, no matter what twist you do, you need to treat it as being a square bar. Otherwise, you'll just chase yourself in circles if you're trying to sort of get every little bend and twist out. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. Nice little flat bar twist. Little wire brush. Right, let's go quench this off. There we go guys, nice flat twist, nice and simple again. That is of course the plain twist, which is the easiest one to do. Get that nailed and then move on. We can do all sorts of crazy things like adding textures, taking chunks out of it, drilling holes in them, or doing all sorts of stuff that we can make twists more exciting. And as I said, we'll go over some of that shortly, but not today. So up next, we have a bit of round bar. And you can of course twist round bar. But the problem with round bar is it doesn't show the twist. Sometimes we round stuff up to hide the twist. But, so, what we need to do is put a flat on there of some description so that we can actually hold on to it. And then we need to change the section so that we're going to see it. You can do all sorts of things on round bar which make things a little bit more exciting. So even just hammer texture in it and then you put a twist in there, you will see that because you've got a series of lines running down the bar. What I'm going to do is forge a slight flat section on this and then we'll twist that up and hopefully be a bit more interesting. So I'm not going to forge a huge flat on this, but I'm going to put a series of hammer marks on here between my two marks, keeping it round, but just giving it a bit of a texture. Right, there we go. So we've got hammer texture on that round bar now. You can see the hammer marks. It's very light texture, but that should be enough, hopefully, to show up the twist on the round section. Okay, so I won't be able to grip this with a pair of spanners. The vise should be able to grip. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to forge a flat section on the top, so I've got something to grip with the spanners, and then we'll give it a go at twisting. So I'm just going to forge a little flat section to get my... How big are my spanners? That's the question. It's a bit longer. Right. Good. So let's quench that bit off and then we'll warm up the middle. Right, in the vise, send punch mark. Send out. Grip. Spanners. Right, so now there should be enough heat in this to straighten this out on my seat. Yeah. there we go. Nice twist on round bar. Now, I don't know how well you can see that, but there is a nice, very gradual twist on there. And it's quite a subtle feature. You know, that would work really well on a stair balustrade or something similar. Or, you know, just on a companion set or something for the house. So it's quite nice sometimes, just adding a little touch. So there we go, guys. There's a plain twist on square, flat and round stock. I hope you guys found that useful. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what sort of twist you'd like me to cover next week. We're going to be doing them piece by piece, breaking them down step by step, so you guys can get the most out of the videos. Hope you guys found this useful. As always, remember to click like and subscribe, comment down below and we'll read them, and we'll see you here next time in the workshop. Cheers, guys.